Sports Podcast. We dive deep, talking ball games from NFL to the NBA, elite athletes, talking coaches, strategizing. Every episode, we bring you the latest. From soccer fields to tennis courts so vast. We cover every sport, night and day fast. Hear the stories, the wins, the losses too. Our passions for sports, no matter the crew. Mack Truck Sports, where the talk never ends. From the big leagues to the little friends. Get ready for the ride, we're just getting started. Mack Truck Sports, let's make this a...
Good evening. Happy Friday. Welcome in. You are listening to another edition of the Mack Truck Podcast, presented to you by the Tired Sports Network, as well as TikTok Live. Thank you, TikTok, for everything you do for us. Also, we love the TikTok shop, so make sure you're getting all your products from there. Also brought to you by you, the fans, the listeners, the spectators. We love to see it. My name is Mack Truck. Thank you for joining us today. We got kind of a big docket again. It's glad to, just kind of be back in the space, or really I'm glad, not it, because I am a human. So that's cool, but I'm glad to still be back in the space with you. We were back here on Wednesday. If you missed that show, go ahead and tune into anywhere you get your podcast, including but not limited to Spotify, Facebook. Also, go ahead and subscribe to pretty much any audio place you get your podcast pleasure. Listen, we got a big docket for you. Going to go over the first two opening nights in the NBA because the NBA is back. Okay, that means my Golden State Warriors are here for it. Okay, listen, I can't say the Warriors are going to win the title, but I'm hopeful. I'm always hopeful. Also going to talk about UFC 321 preview, which is tomorrow in Abu Dhabi. I got two title fights, one rematch, and one that's kind of been in the making for the past couple years. Going to go over that with Tom Aspinall versus Cyril Gane for the UFC World Heavyweight Championship title. I absolutely can't wait for this fight. As well as some Thursday Night Football recap, some college football preview as well. Going to go over the WNBA expansion updates in terms of who got the head coaching positions where, who's still looking for head coaches, things like that. Also going to cover some NBA news in terms of this, what seems to be interesting betting and scamming indictments, arrests, scandal, whatever you want to call it. We're going to be covering that as well. Also, kind of going back to a little bit of our previously used template in terms of adding back discussion topics to our show on different days. So today's discussion topic is going to be really just kind of a ode to Ronda Rousey, since we are going to be mainly talking about women's MMA and MMA in general. So we're pretty much calling it the Women's Sports Minute, which will be right towards the end of the show. So bear with me. If you're still here, thank you. If you're not, I appreciate you being here and looking and all of the things. So let's hop into it. Like I said, this broadcast is brought to you also by In My Bag Apparel, by no one other than Evan Bradfield himself, and one half of the brotherly duo that is the Recognized Game podcast. Make sure you're checking out his apparel. Make sure you're buying all your Mack Truck merchandise from either him or myself. Okay? Listen. Also, Mr. Evans got a brand new line coming out next month, and we're going to get to that later on in the show. And hopefully we can get Evan back on here in studio via remote so we can get the ball rolling. We got a lot of stuff planned, a lot of stuff happening here in the world of sports. So let's hop into it. Listen, the NBA is back, and I can't wait for the rest of the season to start. It's only 3 days in, and there's already been 2 overtime games and just complete chaos in terms of the world of basketball. And I absolutely love the fact that it's here. And I have a special guest. Hi, Boo. Hi, what are you doing? I don't know if you can see, but my baby is standing in the room with me. You think you're gonna sit up here?
Yeah, I got plenty of toys.
Oh, she's gonna play with my toys. Love it here. Okay, well, don't break it, okay? Okay. Can you take this pillow for me? Thank you. Can you shut the door for me? Or are you gonna stay in here? Oh, okay. Well, this is what happens when you have children, and I love it. You gonna sit right there? I love it. Anyway, so going back into our basketball talk and everything. Here, you come here. Oh my goodness, you are something else. Oh, say hi. Hi. You're cute. Anyway, we're talking basketball, boo. Do you know anything about basketball? Pink. Love that.
You sing a song.
What? We're not going to sing a song right now. You're cute. Can you say hi to everybody over here?
Hi.
Can you wave? So cute. I love you so much. We'll probably sing later. We're not going to sing right now, okay? Can you do me a favor and go hang out with mom for a little bit, and you can come back right at the end of the show, and then we can sing. Okay. I love you. You're gonna sit here, sit right there. Anyway, we're gonna hop back into some NBA talk here. So for those of you who watch the NBA, know the NBA, see the NBA, these first 2 nights of NBA has just been completely mind-boggling. I mean, let's just start with the news. Okay, Terry Rozier, former pretty much Hall of Fame guard, who's been a little bit off for the past couple of years, now plays guard for the Miami Heat, along with Damon Jones, former coach for the Los Angeles Lakers, and Chauncey Billups, head coach of the Portland Trailblazers, have all been arrested and indicted on counts alleged for betting and gambling. And as it was stated this morning, Chauncey Billups was released upon showing up for the November 24th court date that he has. So, and a lot of this we've seen before. So, and like I said, anybody that has kind of watched and paid attention to the NBA, Jontay Porter, former Toronto Raptor, was indicted last year for very similar things. And just to kind of give you a timeline of when and where things were happening. So in 12 of 22, through basically May of 2024, there was the indictment basically says that there was co-conspirators placed on 7 NBA games using non-public information. So essentially, they were betting on games outside of MGM books, Caesar books, FanDuel, things like that. Public ways to place bets on games. And some of those teams are not limited to, but do include the Hornet, the Magic, the Portland Trailblazers, the Lakers, and the Raptors, of course. Those 3 teams that those 3 individuals came from. Now, Rozier is accused of sharing inside information and removing himself early from games, which is the very similar timeline, if you remember, to what Jontay Porter did. In fact, Jontay Porter, for pretty much all intents and purposes, made it pretty public that he was either sick or hurt or removing himself from games, that type of thing. So that's what that was in terms of Terry Rozier. Also removing himself due to getting benefits from bettors under the table, that type of thing. Black market, all the things you're not supposed to do when you are an athlete getting paid millions of dollars. And we're going to get to that part in a second. Nothing grinds my gears more than that, but I want to make sure I give you guys as much information as possible when it comes to this. And then we'll get into the fact that I can't absolutely stand it and how disgusted I am. But I'm also disgusted about a lot of things, but that's the world of sports. Either way, and like I said, Terry Rozier removed himself from a couple of games, profiting from those things from bettors. Chauncey Billups, like I said, was released this morning upon his court date for November 24th, which is literally in a month. So Damon Jones was unofficially a part of the 2022-2023 coaching staff for the Lakers, allegedly also sold inside information about player availability to bettors, also under that impression of assumption that he was getting some kind of profit by sharing such information, being a guide for those allegations and those illegal moves under the table in terms of betting. It's quite interesting though how coaches seem to get put in these positions, or how they put themselves in these positions, rather. It's very interesting to me, especially when as a coach, you're getting paid a little bit more than your team to coach the team, depending on your tenure, all of that. So Then Chauncey Billups wasn't actually on the indictment, but the indictment did state that there was a co-conspirator from the Portland Trailblazers organization. Told a better that the Trailblazers were taking several players and would miss a bunch of games through March of 2023, or March of 2023 rather. Like I said, we've unfortunately seen this before with Jontay Porter. Like I said, he was indicted and pled guilty to similar charges last year, just in terms of betting and everything. So before we get into actual basketball, anything in terms of court play, the entirety of the fact that these individuals paid millions basketball, whatever that looks like, and y'all are just going to be greedy for why? Like, what are we being greedy for? Y'all that you need more money or not making enough money when coaching and playing these sports. And I'm looking at the commentary. Billups was more on fixing poker games aside. Yeah, and that was the other part of it was Chauncey Billups got himself into kind of a similar thing with poker games and things outside of basketball that somehow tied into the indictment itself as being a co-conspirator. So we'll have more details on that, and you can find all this information on ESPN.com via Shams Charania. You can find it pretty much anywhere, theathletic.com, Bleacher Report, things like that for fact checking and all the things. But we're moving on, okay, into the actual basketball, the meat and bones of the damn sport, okay, the court play. And like I said, the very first night did not disappoint. Obviously, anybody that knows me knows I'm a Golden State Warriors fan. I don't have a lot of my Warriors stuff up right now. Office and studio still under construction, but either way, the Golden State Warriors went to the Staples Center to visit LeBron James and Luka Doncic and handed them the first loss this season. Obviously, Golden State goes in there, beats them by 10 points, 119-109. Jimmy buckets. 31 points, 7 for 14 from the field, and 16 for 16 for free throws from the charity stripe. Luka Doncic, 43 points, 17 for 27, 7 for 10 from the free throw line as well. Again, now going back down the stat line, and again, anybody that knows basketball that knows how good Luka Doncic is, he's going to be on this stat line multiple times. So you're just going to have to deal with it because the man is good at basketball. It didn't matter if he was in Dallas. It don't matter that he's in LA. He's doing what he do, and he's dominating the basketball court, and he's showing why they traded for him. Like, and LeBron also hasn't played yet. Let's just keep that in mind. LeBron James has not touched the court in the season of 2025. Just keep that in mind. We're going to get to that in a little bit as well. Jonathan Kuminga, 9 rebounds, 6 D boards, 3 O boards. Luka Doncic, 12 rebounds. All 12 of those rebounds have been literally defensive. And that just goes to show the defensive prowess that Luka Doncic carries in the realm of basketball, especially in the front court. The man is, in the nicest way possible, a freak of nature. Very much comparable to how Kevin Durant was in his prime as well. Very, very much my core, very much ball hawk, very much still very much team player, and still thinking about how we're going to get the team points. And they almost, I mean, and to be quite honest, everybody watched this game and watched it in the highlights. Luka Doncic damn near came back and won this game for the Lakers. Glad he didn't, because love to see my Warriors getting that first win of the season. Moving on to the second part of the second to last part of these stat lines here for this first game, Warriors versus Lakers in Staples Center on the 21st of October, which was this past Tuesday. Okay. Draymond Green. Now, Draymond Green, everybody knows his pedigree. I don't even have to really address the type of player he was, what he's become into now. I will tell you this, though. The fact that he even had anything more than 5 assists is great to me, which means you're seeing the court, you're seeing the talent you have, and you're not trying to play Superman. For all intents and purposes now, 9 assists, had 4 turnovers, and played 28 minutes that game. Luka Doncic again, 9 assists, 3 turnovers, played 41 minutes of an entirety of a basketball game. Now, listen, I forever have wanted to see Draymond Green, Stephen Curry, And now Seth Curry, his brother, who also now plays on the Golden State Warriors. And now Al Horford. And I never thought I would see Al Horford out of a Celtics uniform ever in life. I'm just going to throw that out there. I'm going to need LeBron James to come back real soon for the sake of his own team. Because if obviously still way early in the season to even be saying things like that, but y'all know how I do. I'm a realist. I keep it 100%. I keep it a Benny. I keep it 100, whatever you want to call it. Okay. If the Lakers keep losing these close games like this without LeBron, the season's going to be very long. Now, obviously, LeBron, old, a little bit older now into his career, one of the best people to touch a basketball, period. It don't matter. NBA, WNBA, CFL, ABC, CD, EFG, Do, Re, Mi, Fa, So. Okay, LeBron James is one of the best athletes to ever grace a basketball court in its entirety. And you love to see it. But you can also tell, the age and attrition and just the tenure that he's had in the NBA is catching up to him. This is also why the Lakers brought in Luka Doncic to fill in that spot. And now look what he's doing the exact same thing LeBron did when he went to the Cavs the very first time, when he got drafted there out of high school, mind you. Now, moving on to the second game of opening night, the Oklahoma City Thunder, the current and defending NBA champions for 2024, give the Rockets a run for their money, or really, I should say the Rockets gave them a run for their money. Rockets lose this one in OKC in double overtime, mind you, 124-125. Alfred Seagun, 39 points, 12 for 24 from the field, had 10 for 11 free throw shots. The MVP himself, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, 35 points rather, 12 for 26 from the field and 10 for 14 from the free throw line. Now, I'm going to stop for a second. And I'm going to call myself out. I, for the longest, did not want to give Shai Gilgeous-Alexander his flowers. I'm just going to say that. As a former player, huge, obviously basketball fan, still athlete, I was probably one of the biggest haters of Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Until about mid-season last year, he shut me up about 4 or 5 times. And I was like, all right, listen, can't be having this, because I can't be having him just be thinking he can humble people all day like this. But that's what he does. And the fact that he just keeps doing it and keeps excelling, and it's like it feels like every 5 minutes he's getting better when he's on the court. It's crazy to even look at. Like, he is a generational talent. He is one of the best players to grace a basketball thus far, and he's only in year 3 or 4. That's the crazy part about this entire thing. It's like some of the generational talent we're seeing in these sports nowadays is just like I don't want to even say never ending, but it seems like the cycle of the fact and degree of talent with basketball, just because we're specifically talking about that, is just climbing and climbing and climbing. It's like, it's almost not like a yearly thing. It's like a game by game. It's like a minute by minute type of thing. It's nuts to see. Either way, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander drops 30 in a 5-piece with it. Steven Adams, 13 rebounds, 8 D boards, 5 O boards. Isaiah Hartenstein, 8 boards total, 5 offensive and 3 defensive. Alfred Seagun, again, 7 assists, 4 turnovers, played 49 minutes because, again, this first game did go into double overtime. And Shai Gilgeous-Alexander to close out this first game, 5 assists, 3 turnovers, played 47 minutes, which means both of them had about less than 2.5 to 1 minute and a half's worth of rest between the end of regulation or the end of the third quarter to the end of double overtime, which is crazy. But that's what we love sports and basketball for, guys. I mean, literally, like, this is such a great time of year to just get into sports. I mean, there's so many. I mean, literally, we have college football, NFL. We're gearing up for the Winter Olympics. Okay? Don't even get me started about that. Oh my God, I can't wait. I will be glued to the TV. Don't call me. Don't text me. Don't beat me. None of that. Okay, I'm glued to the TV when the Olympics are on. Okay, we got UFC, obviously, still a yearly thing. The World Series is going on, which we'll touch on starting next week in terms of the rest of the World Series, all the things. We've got NFL, obviously, like, still in its entirety. The fact that NBA has just started, the WNBA just ended, and college basketball across the board is about to start too. Oh, I love it here so much. Either way, getting into some of these game scores from the first night, the Minnesota Timberwolves beat the Trailblazers 118-114. Pelicans visit the Grizzlies and lose by 6, 122-128. The Raptors visit the Atlanta Hawks and drop 20-point deficit on them, 138-118. Hopping into the second night of NBA. Listen. Oh, that game last night gave me a heart attack. Obviously, again, still early in the season when it comes to NBA, but I am very much a perfectionist. I want nothing other than just my Golden State Warriors to go as close to the 85-9 season they had, the 84-9 season that they had. Now, obviously, with all of their players having as much, miles and attrition as I have, little untouchable, but not completely undoable, unseeable, all the things. Now, this Golden State game also went into overtime last night. The Denver Nuggets visit the Golden State Warriors in the Chase Arena, lose by 6 in overtime, 131-136. Aaron Gordon, 50 points. Aaron Gordon drops 50 points. Let's just stop there. I frankly didn't know that Aaron Gordon was capable enough to drop 50 points. And what I mean by that, because he has so much talent around him, I didn't think he was going to have to do something like that. But when your jersey number is called, that's what happens. Literally, that's a thing. And you love to see it. 50 points, 17 for 21 from the field, 6 for 6 from the free throw line. Chef Curry, everybody knows, the king of threes, the king of wild shots, the king of being able to break your ankles and you don't even have to be standing straight up. Dribble drive. Okay. And it's just, and I sit here and just think about the fact that Steph Curry is about 5 years older than I am, and he's just out here dribbling, driving, and just making it look like so easy. It's ridiculous. It's mind-blowing to me, and I love it. I love it. 42 points, 14 for 25 from the field, and 8 for 8 from the free throw line. And yes, I do see a good couple points on here. Mind you, Aaron Gordon has played for several different teams. The last time he dropped anything more than 30 to 35 points was when he was wearing an Orlando Magic jersey. Think about that. That was 2020, 2021, somewhere in there, about 4 or 5 year difference. And you can still do that and almost make it look like you're not breaking a sweat. Yeah, here for it. Listen, if you can make it look like you've been doing it all your life, that's the best part about sports. Is if you can just look at an athlete or watch a sport and you're like, man, he just made that look easy. Damn well knowing how hard it is or how hard it can be is completely ridiculous in the best way possible. Moving on to more of these stats here. The Joker, Nikola Jokic, 13 rebounds, 12 D boards, 1 O board. Draymond Green, 8 D boards total and 8 rebounds across the board. Jamal Murray, 10 assists, 3 turnovers, played 40 minutes. And Draymond Green again, 8 assists, 1 turnover, and 34 points. And the fact that Draymond Green had 4 turnovers the first game and chopped it by 75% and only had 1 this entire game, or this entire game of last night, I love it. Which means there's still a little bit of prime left in there. Still a little bit of prime left in the legs of Draymond Green, Steph Curry, Al Horford. I can't wait to see his name on some stat lines. I don't care if he's helping run the second unit. I don't care if he's the shooting guard for 3. I love basketball. I love basketball. I love sports in general. This is why I have a show. And I thank you guys for joining me yet again. I see both streams. I see the TikTok stream, Facebook, all the things. I appreciate you guys for being here. Thank you. Make sure you're liking, sharing, subscribing to it everywhere. Doesn't matter if it's here. Doesn't matter if it's there. Doesn't matter if it's the North Pole. Make sure you're liking and subscribing and listening and sharing, and make sure you are following everything on the Tired Sports Network, including the Recognized Game podcast with one half of your host, Mr. Evan Bradfield, the king of the In My Bag apparel and customs line. Moving on into this last game here for NBA opening night part 2. Okay. The Thunder and the Pacers duke it out as well, going into double overtime. And again, the Oklahoma City Thunder win another one in double overtime, 141-135. SGA, 55 points. 55 points. That's over half to 100. Let's just keep that in mind. Okay. It's ridiculous to me how much just the score deficits in the NBA have become so ridiculously emphatic. It's nuts. Okay. I'm just like, I'm sitting here like, at this point, I need to get an SGA jersey, and I don't even like anything in Oklahoma outside of the college softball team. And the fact that the Pacers are doing what they're doing without Tyrese Halliburton, mind you, remember, if you guys forgot, Tyrese Halliburton unfortunately tore his Achilles during the finals last year, and he will be out for the majority of the season. But you still have Pascal Siakam. Let's just remember that. Pascal Siakam has the veteranship, showed it when he won his ring in Toronto, and now has brought it down to the States. And I love it. I love it. I love it. Either way, Ben Mathurin, 36 points, 9 for 19 from the field, and 15 for 17 from the free throw line. Okay. Also, again, the Pacers had really not much of anything. They don't have Halliburton. They don't have McConnell. They also don't have now their rookie, the rookie or second year. I believe he's out of Florida State. He got hurt in last night's game as well. So just the fact that the Pacers were able to keep this going and into double overtime and damn near win it. This is why we love sports. It's any given game day. It don't matter who you are. It does not matter who you are, what team, what your record is, because at any given time, you could lose. That is a thing. I mean, it's been proven time and time again, like quite literally. I mean, I don't really know what else to tell y'all. Outside of that, Isaiah Hartenstein, 14 assists, 14 rebounds rather, 14 D boards total, no O boards. Pascal Siakam, 15 rebounds, 12 D boards, and 3 O boards. Listen, it's just literally the time for basketball, and I'm just the next few months of shows are going to be nothing but NBA and college, and then re-gearing up for March Madness, then gearing up again for WNBA. I love it here so much. And like I said, I thank you guys for joining me here on the Mac Truck Podcast. Yes, you're watching on a Friday afternoon. This, we don't normally do Friday shows, but we're probably going to stick to it. I like this Friday feel. Friday fun day. Got a lot of stuff to talk about. Again, if you're just joining us, thank you for joining us here on the TikTok stream. Thank you for joining me here on all the other things, Discord, Facebook, YouTube, all the things. And thank you for just listening to me and enjoying the realm of sports as one normally does if you're listening to me. And since we're still talking about basketball for the time being, I'm not a Spurs fan. Haven't been since Manu Ginobili and Tim Duncan. Okay. But Victor Wembanyama, listen. I'm not sure what planet he came from, but I feel like if every NBA team could have a Victor Wembanyama on their team, I feel like a little bit of these scores would be a little bit more fair. He's 7'5" with a 7'5" wingspan, and all he has to do is sneeze to dunk. And the entirety of the fact that he went 40 for 15 on 3 blocks without trying, mind you, without trying. It's nuts to me. And nobody seems to have a formula of stopping this man. No one seems to have a formula on how to get him to even slow down. Get him to, can you find a way to just get in his path? Because I feel like if you can at least try that, he can at least hop over you and somebody can try to steal the ball from underneath him. Because you can't stop it. Like, hello? Like, what? Listen. And the fact that he has not turned the ball over yet is nuts to me. Like, he's literally playing power, point, and really any kind of other random combination of 5 you could play without completely just letting him play the damn game by himself against 5 other people. And he hasn't turned the ball over. He hasn't been so responsible with the way he passes the ball, the way he gets the inbound. And it's not like if you're 7'5", it ain't like you have to sit there and hold the ball way over your head, because not even Jesus Christ himself can catch that damn ball. Okay. But most guards are about 6'4", 6'5". Most post players in the NBA are hitting 6'9", 6'10", 7 foot. Wembanyama is 7'5". I'm 5'10". My best friend is 6'1". We're tall, but that man is like touching mountains. And with a basketball in his hand, That's unfair. Like, that's unfair. That's unfair. And the people that he has around him is also what's making this entire. It's just like SJ and Chet Holmgren. It's literally just like that. I mean, you have Castle, you have Harper, both of them who are very much like the modern big three. It's like the three. It's literally like the 3-man weave. If you know, you know. It's literally like the 3-man weave with 2 extras, and it's unfortunately for those 2 extras, you're gonna have to play up to the standard of these 3 to really get talked about and get noticed. But at the end of the day, basketball is a team sport, and Wembanyama is literally putting his team out in the open, and I love it. I love basketball. What can I say? Now, again, if you guys are just joining us, you missed a little bit of a rant earlier in the show. We're gonna hop right into it right now. Again, if you missed it, haven't seen it in the headlines. Gambling scandals, betting scandals, scandals, all the things. You get paid millions of dollars to play the sport that you love. Some of us are literally just trying to get noticed for doing the things that we love when it comes to sports. Why are you crapping it away because you feel like you need to make more money under the table? Go DoorDash if you want more money. Go shake your booty on the corner for some more money if you want. But the illegal betting and the gambling and the poker, come on. If you're going to bet on the game, one, when you're a player in the league, you can't. It is literally a rule that you cannot bet on your own sport. Let's just put that out there. You cannot bet on your own sport as a professional, fully sanctioned professional athlete with an agent. So if I was a pro boxer or a pro MMA fighter, I cannot bet on boxing or MMA. I can bet on other sports, but I can't bet on the sport that I play. If you are a basketball player, you can't bet on basketball. If you are a baseball player, same thing. NFL, same thing. Women's sports, same thing. You cannot bet on the sport that you play. And if you play 2 sports, then you're screwed even more, because then that's another sport you can't bet on until you are done playing. I don't think people really understand that. It's quite agitating, frankly. Either way, I'm done ranting. Fact of the matter is, we're going to move on. This next part of the show is brought to you by Truth Studios, 8421 University Avenue, Clive, Iowa, Suite N, the beard and barber stylings of Gary Duke Williams. If you need your hair done and you need a fresh look, make sure you hit him up on Booksy.com and or Facebook and tell him the Mac Truck sent you. Because again, if you didn't listen to the show or already follow him or them, you wouldn't know about it. Again, small businesses need to thrive just like corporate and Fortune 500s. Everybody started small once. Some of us smaller people are trying to get up. So make sure you're supporting. And supporting some isn't always, buying something. It's liking, sharing, subscribing. It's, leaving a comment. It's giving feedback. It's, not asking for discounts when y'all will pay $100 for a pair of Nikes, but won't pay $30 for a shirt, won't get a haircut, won't buy, won't share a design, that type of thing. So let me just put y'all on notice right now. And again, y'all know me. I'm real raw 100%. I don't give a damn. I will come on here until my face is blue. And it take a long time for my face to get blue. So make sure you're supporting small businesses. And don't just say, oh, I support you. And then when I get big, wonder why I cut you off because you wasn't there in the beginning. And this is something that my best friend and I have constantly have conversations about. Like, don't tell me you support me, but don't share any of my stuff or like any of my stuff, or at the least, don't look at anything that I send you when it comes to the show, but then wonder why I don't interact with you, or don't do that. Okay. Now that my little rant is done, we're moving on to Thursday Night Football recap. Listen, I said the NFL is hot, but the Vikings are not right now. A lot of trouble over in Minneapolis. Carson Wentz, who seemingly enough has taken over the starting quarterback reins for phenom JJ McCarthy. It's not still sure why that's a thing. I don't really understand why you start JJ McCarthy after him starting to be a phenom, then gets hurt last year in a preseason game, tears his meniscus, comes back, starts super hot. Then I did remember he got hurt with an ankle injury. So that may be why he may still be out due to that. But from things I've read, somebody tried to say that Carson Wentz is the better option just because Carson Wentz has a Super Bowl ring from another team doesn't necessarily mean he's the best option for their offense right now. And don't listen, I'm not poo-pooing it. I'm not, people got to make their money. And in the NFL, that's how you got to make your money that way. Okay. But Carson Wentz needs to be benched. Because the Minnesota Vikings are slowly, well, not even slowly, they're very fastly going through the toilet right now. And what I mean by that, they lost by 27 points to the LA Chargers in SoFi Stadium. Jim Harbaugh, Justin Herbert, Ladd McConkey tore them apart. Joe Alt ripped them to pieces. It was 10-37 in favor of the Chargers. Carson Wentz, 144 yards, 15 for 27, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Justin Herbert, big Herbie man himself, 227 yards, goes 18 for 25 on pass attempts and completions. 3 touchdowns and 1 interception. Now listen, I'm here for young talent. I'm here for old talent. Hell, look at Aaron Rodgers. All I need to say. Look at Aaron Rodgers. Look at Matthew Stafford. It's there. Just because you're older doesn't mean you have to. I'm not going to say he sucks, but Carson Wentz does not look good right now. He also, unfortunately, got hurt towards the end of the game, and I'm pretty sure it was his throwing hand. Joe Flacco, perfect example too. Joey Flacco out here slaying the pill for Cincinnati because Joe Burrow, who unfortunately still is a little accident prone, has a grade 3 turf toe injury. Again, I said it last show. If you have ever played a turf sport, a court sport, you know how bad turf toe sucks. So I'm not going to sit here and, flack or stress one way or the other. Turf toe sucks. In fact, Brock Purdy's still out because of having turf toe. Either way, you can't let your age get to you. If you're really here about the sport, age is just a number. Your body and your mind will let you go as long as you want. And right now, I personally feel like Carson Wentz is in an awkward in between. Like, I have experience, but I'm still young, but I'm also older compared to some of these other quarterbacks and players on my team and in the league. Either way, like I said, any given game day, you can't leave it to the refs. Obviously, the Chargers did just that, handed it to you on a silver plate. Xavier Scott, 16 yards, 2 carries. Kamani Vidal, 23 carries, 1 touchdown. Justin Jefferson, 74 yards and 7 receptions. We're going to go back to that in just a second. Ladd McConkey, 6 receptions, 88 yards, and 1 touchdown. Ladd McConkey's a bad mofo. I'm going to just tell you that right now. Justin Jefferson is also a bad mofo. Get that man the damn ball, Carson Wentz. Get that man the damn ball. You also have Jordan Mason and Aaron Jones, who, why they didn't give him the ball more is where I'm literally trying to figure out. On what planet did y'all think that reverting from giving Aaron Jones and Jordan Mason the ball was going to get you somewhere? Somebody make that make sense to me. Because what? Huh? Like, the math isn't mathing, like, at all. Like, not even a little bit. The math isn't mathing, and I am kind of offended, literally, for Vikings players and Vikings fans. In fact, one of my longtime teammates and one of my best friends I met playing football is a huge Vikings fan, and I thought about texting her last night, but I didn't feel like getting cussed out. But she's said before, she has no idea what Kevin O.C. is doing over there in Minnesota. And rightfully so. The frustration, you can see it in the players, you can see it in the coaches, you can see it in the fans. Something's got to change in Minnesota and fast, unfortunately. Something has to change in Minnesota and fast. But obviously still plenty of season left. But obviously, y'all got to figure something out real quick. Okay. Like, it's frustrating to see teams that have been good or teams that you have watched make a come up, stay consistent for a good couple seasons, and then slowly seeming like they're falling off. And I'm looking at some of the comments here on the TikTok feed. Jones was just coming back. Maybe that had something to do with it. I absolutely agree. I think it had something to do with it, but everybody knows what he's capable of, even when he's come off an injury. Obviously, coming back off a little bit more serious injury is going to, be snap count management, time management, all the things. I mean, look at CeeDee Lamb. We just got CeeDee Lamb back in terms of the Dallas Cowboys. Just got him back. He breaks off a 75-yard run after the catch. And that's because, he took the time off, got healthy, all the things. But if y'all don't give the ball to Justin Jefferson and Aaron Jones and TJ Hawkinson, because like what? You guys are known. Y'all the Minnesota Vikings run a very similar offense to a lot of the teams in the Midwest when it comes to college football. Not just Big Ten, not just independent. I'm talking the Midwestern system of football. The way it's played, the Minnesota Vikings literally always go to a 2 tight end set. They have so many formations for a 2 tight end set, and you have one of the best tight ends in football. Okay, with TJ Hawkinson. But he gets maybe 2 receptions and a couple yards because Carson Wentz doesn't know how to read a check down or doesn't know how to read a zone 3 defense or cover 3 for that matter. Obviously, as a former defensive lineman, listen, I know a little bit. But I don't get paid millions of dollars to play. And it irks me because when I see small mistakes, it drives me nuts. You get paid millions of dollars to throw the football and play the sport that you love. And some of us are literally trying to get our sport of football recognized. Do better and fast. Either way, we're moving on into the next topic here. This part of the show is brought to you by you, the fans, the spectators, the haters. If you're a hater, thanks for making me famous. If you're not, let's be friends. But again, you can follow me on pretty much all social media: Facebook, StreamYard, Spotify, TikTok, X, Instagram, Pinterest, Apple Fitness. You can pretty much find me everywhere and anywhere. And make sure you're following, liking, sharing, subscribing the show. All feedback is welcome. Terrible feedback is welcome. That's how we grow here. When I say we, I mean me. When I say we, I mean the show itself and the spectators. You know? College football preview. I love it here. God, I love the fact that college football is still a thing right now. And the way that the college football trajectory has been second to none in its entirety in terms of being just wild. I love it. You love it. And if you don't, maybe you should. For those of you who were, around the show, the very top of college football season, I always do Mac Truck's watch list for whatever year. This is Mac Truck's watch list for 2025. Okay. I always watch 2 or 3 teams in Iowa. I pick a couple random teams and then a sleeper team. So here we go. Iowa Hawkeyes 5-2. They're -7.5 next, playing Minnesota tomorrow at 3:30 on CBS. Now, anybody that watched the Iowa game last year in Minnesota knows that they got screwed. And quite literally by a BS call by the refs saying that Cooper DeJean was calling for a fair catch when he, in fact, was telling his blockers to block the front line because the ball, obviously, punt returner, everybody knows, listen. Hope PJ Fleck and the Minnesota Gophers are ready for a war because y'all are coming into Kinnick Stadium. And it's already hard enough to play at Kinnick Stadium, let alone an afternoon game in Kinnick Stadium. Hope you brought your big boy pants, PJ. It's going to be rough for you. Also, the fact that my quarterback has 0 passing touchdowns and has 10 to 12 rushing touchdowns. In fact, he hit his own rushing record last game of 131 rushing yards versus Penn State at night in Kinnick Stadium. I'm just going to throw that out there. Iowa State, also 5-2. They are 2.5-point favorite next versus BYU. That game is also at 3:30 Central Standard Time on Fox. Unfortunately, Iowa State has fallen out of the top 25 because they have a little bit of the same pedigree as Iowa. And it seems to be on years that Iowa State beats Iowa. They beat Iowa by 1 or 2 points. Then they beat the next opponent, and then they start to lose. And I can't seem to figure out why. Because if they could figure out a way to not have some of these losses, collectively pile up, I think they would still be in the top 25. I also think they would make a little bit more of a solidified reasoning to be put into the November polls, which we are all looking for. For those of you who don't know, November is when the actual rankings for college football teams matter, because that means it's getting closer to the college football playoff bracket. And ever since the expansion, some of those 5-2 teams, 6-2 teams, 6-1 teams start to wiggle their way into the top 25 to get a better placement, whether it's for bowls or whether it's consideration for a semifinal. Now, Colorado. I picked Colorado, obviously, because I love me some Coach Prime. Everybody that knows Coach Prime knows how he's built his program. He rebuilt Jackson State. He has, seemingly enough, helped rebuild the Colorado Buffaloes team after just now what seems to be 3 to 4 seasons rather than the first 2 seasons of his career. He did have bladder surgery just about 2 or 3 weeks ago and was still on the sidelines coaching football. Obviously, he's produced Shedeur Sanders. He's produced Jimmy Horn Jr. He's produced Shiloh Sanders. He's produced, obviously, Travis Hunter. Everybody knows who Travis Hunter is if you know the world of college football. Colorado not doing so hot, but have a chance to hop back in it in the Big 12. They are 3-4 right now. They are, unfortunately, not a favorite going into Utah. Utah is a minus 13.5 point favorite. That game is at 10:15 p.m. Central Standard Time on ESPN. And I love the fact that there's late college games. It's not just like, oh, okay, we're going to go from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. Like, no, there's actual late games, and I love it. I love it. So Central Time actually would be 9:15. I am in the Eastern Time Zone, so it's 10:15 for me. And I kind of love it because I can watch football all damn day. I could watch football upside down if I wanted to, because there's so many games on. And sometimes there's games that like, oh, you really want to watch. And then there's games that's like, oh, these are 2 teams that I've never heard of, but I want to see what they're about. That's the beauty of college football, for the record, if you didn't know. Georgia Tech. I've followed Georgia Tech many times, but Georgia Tech has been on my radar since really Haynes King became the starting quarterback about 2 or 3 years ago. Georgia Tech right now is 7-0, undefeated, have not lost a game. They have come dangerously close to losing games. But again, they are 7-0 undefeated. They are a 16.5 point favorite next versus Syracuse at 12 noon on ESPN. So 11 Central Standard Time, 12 noon Eastern Time. The Vanderbilt Commodores are my sleeper team for the year of 2025 when it comes to college football. Diego Pavia. I don't know what universe that kid came from. And I'm very mad at myself that I didn't know who he was until last season. Vanderbilt's not to be messed with. I don't care if you're an SEC fan or not. I don't care if Alabama beat them or not, because Alabama, frankly, is not that good. I'm just going to throw that out there. And if you're a Tide fan, I don't give a damn. If you're a Georgia fan, I don't care. If you're a Florida fan, you have absolutely no room to talk. You just lost your head coach because y'all can't play football correctly, and he can't coach right, apparently. Okay. If you're a Kentucky fan, okay, all right, Mississippi State, Texas A&M, who's also undefeated, very impressed with. Huge honorable mention with them. But the Vanderbilt Commodores, I don't think are to be played with right now. I'm just going to throw that out there. The way Diego Pavia shreds a defense is ridiculous to me. And he's one of the shorter quarterbacks in the entirety of the SEC itself, just mind you. 6-1, 2.5 point favorite next versus Mizzou at home. That is at 3:30 Eastern Time, 2:30 Central Time on ESPN. I have so much to do tomorrow. I have so much football. It's ridiculous. I can't wait. Either way, going to the Texas A&M game. Texas A&M is number 3 on the AP Top 25 poll. Again, they are 7-0. That game is at 7:30 on ABC, and they play number 20 LSU, who is 5-2. Okay, Marcel Reed, 125 completions for 202 attempts passing, 15 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. Garrett Nussmeier, 154 completed passes out of 232 attempts, 11 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. Listen, I really like Garrett Nussmeier. Don't ask me why. I have no idea why. But the fact that he has taken over the LSU offense, and I've talked to a lot of my LSU fan friends, they, for whatever reason, don't like him, probably because they're used to having players like, JJ and Joe Burrow. Okay. They also have Ron Lacey. I get it. Trust me, I understand. But you got to give the kid a chance, because I don't see none of y'all putting pads on to go sling the pill. I don't see none of y'all putting pads on to do trench work. I don't see none of y'all being Brian Kelly. I mean, not that anybody really would, but I get it. But stop hating on that, man. Until y'all put some pads on and play. Nothing drives me crazier than fans who've never played the sport and then sit there and think that they know everything. In fact, nothing drives me crazier than people who've played the sport and think they know everything. I used to be one of those people. Hell, drives me nuts looking at it nowadays. Can't stand it. Either way, I think Texas A&M comes out of this game handily. I think they beat LSU by 2. I think LSU drops out of the top 25 and goes to 5-3. It's gonna be interesting. Now, here's my game of the week, like my pick. That's not Iowa. It's not Texas, because I am kind of partial to Texas, but Texas is also on this list for the record. The battle for the Paul Bunyan Trophy happens tomorrow evening. Number 25, the University of Michigan Wolverines go over about an hour or so to East Lansing to play the Michigan State Spartans, who are 3-4. Michigan is 5-2. That game is on NBC at 7:30 Eastern time, so 6:30 Central. Bryce Underwood, the freshman phenom quarterback for the Michigan Wolverines, 113 passes completed to 181 pass attempts, 7 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Aiden Childs, 114 for 175 in terms of pass completed and attempts, 10 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. If anybody knows Babe, and Babe's in there, everybody say, "Hey, Babe," in capital letters, type it. She loves it. Don't let her fool you. Okay. She loves when you guys yell at her. And if you don't like it, you should, Babe. Either way. As much as I want to go against the Michigan State Spartans, and I'm gonna get in trouble if I go against them, I really like how Michigan has played. Also, big shout out to Mike Ferg. Hashtag best friend. Hashtag 1/3 of the Three Musketeers. If you know, you know. He's a huge Michigan fan. Why, I don't know. The man lives in Iowa. No idea. It's always driven me nuts. Always bothered me. But I'm also a Dallas Cowboy fan, so there's that. Enough said. I really like Michigan to win this game, but something is telling me that Michigan State is going to take Paul Bunyan. I don't know why. I woke up this morning and I'm like, something's telling me that Michigan State's going to make this a dogfight, especially going for them to have a home game for the Battle of Paul Bunyan in East Lansing, rather than having to go to the Big House. I mean, and frankly, I think I would much rather go to East Lansing to try to win this trophy back than to go all the way to the Big House to try to do it. It's always, I feel like it's always a little bit easier when you have home field advantage. Not that it really means much unless you're the Kansas City Chiefs. Just kidding. Totally kidding, but kind of not. But having home field advantage can help. It really can. And I think the way the Michigan Spartans have played, I think the way they have played football this season, their record does not reflect it, obviously, because everybody wants to see their record be, pretty much undefeated. Maybe 1 loss, maybe 2, depending on who it is. Like I said, Michigan State's 3-4. You have Aiden Childs. He's a veteran quarterback. He's in his junior or senior season, true junior and senior season, rather. Bryce Underwood, 18-year-old, straight out of high school, and playing for a Sharon Moore-led Michigan Wolverines team who's produced some of the best football players known to man. Charles Woodson, okay, the GOAT, Tom Brady. Need I say more? Okay, Colston Loveland. Okay, J.J. McCarthy, Blake Corum. I mean, I could keep going. Hell, I think I know more Michigan players than I do any other team outside of Iowa, which is really concerning to me. Either way, this game is not to be missed. If you are a sports fan, you should watch this. If you are a football fan, you should absolutely have this on a multi-view of some sort. Okay. Not sure what's going to happen, but I think Babe's going to make me put it on the TV out there. And if she doesn't, I'm just going to do it for her. She's just going to have to deal with it. Anyway, I'm taking Sparty by 6 points for just strictly for home field advantage and the entirety of the fact that it's going to be a dogfight. It's going to be a dogfight. I think Aiden Childs and the Michigan State Spartans make a statement. I think they kind of get their way back into the talks of getting back into the top 25. But there are a lot of teams that are 5-2 that also have to fight their way back just to get that little bit of recognition. And I think it's going to start with Michigan State kind of putting their foot on the necks of the Wolverines. And I'm looking at comments, and apparently my daughter's ready to sing songs. I'm not quite ready to sing songs. We've got a couple topics left here to talk about, but I promise you we will sing some songs. Moving on into one of the last games on our college football preview here. Number 22, Texas goes and visits Mississippi State. Texas is 5-2. Mississippi State is 4-3. Arch Manning, 144 yards, or I lied. 1,445 yards, 114 completed pass attempts out of 189, 12 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. Blake Shapen, 1,525 yards. Good job, boo. My 4-year-old went potty, and I'm proud of her. Everybody clap for her, and if you don't, you stink. Good job, boo. You're gonna hang out with me again? Or you gonna keep the door open? It's a little hot in here anyway. Either way, babe, we're talking about football.
Okay, we're talking football too.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about football. You wanna sit up here again? Okay, come here. Oh my goodness. Oh. You just want to sing songs, and that's totally fine. It's totally fine. I love it here. Either way, Blake Shapen for the Mississippi State Bulldogs. 1,525 yards total, 124 completed out of 185, 9 touchdowns and 5 interceptions on the season so far. We got a lot of football this week, boo. We got football this week. Are you excited?
Yay!
Yay! I love it. I love this for you.
Eagle.
That is close to an eagle. Her favorite team is the Iowa Hawkeyes, just so everybody knows. She doesn't like Michigan State. She doesn't like Michigan. Did you just fart on me?
No.
Yes, you did. On me. I love it. Say hi.
Hi.
Hi. Can you say hi over here? Say hi.
Hey, Pickle.
Pickle. Everybody's a pickle.
Yay.
Yay.
Yeah.
Can I finish so we can sing songs in a little bit?
Okay.
Okay. I love you.
Love you.
Okay. Go harass mom. Okay. Do you have my toy still? Thank you. Oh, okay. We're going to do something in a little bit. It's cool. She makes my day. I love it. Either way, like I said, we got a lot of college football. I can't wait. You can't wait. And you should be excited for college football. Okay. It's a sport. Love it. Now, going into more basketball, except we're just going to talk about the WNBA expansion. This part of the show is brought to you by Them Patton Spirits, Daniel, Jen Patton, and their illustrious line of adult beverages. Make sure you're hitting them up on Instagram at Them Pattons. That's at THEMPATTONS. Tell them the Mac Truck sent you. They are also a merchandiser, sponsor, partner of In My Bag Apparel and Customs as well. They're also a sponsor of the Mac Truck podcast as well. Make sure you're hitting them up. Make sure you're telling them the Mac Truck and Evan Thunder Bradfield sent you. If not, you're lame. And make sure you're enjoying those beverages responsibly, because that's what we do here as adults. We do those things responsibly, okay? Just like children with sugar and candy and things responsibly, unless we send them back to the grandparents or their grandparents send them back to us, all sugared up. Listen, the WNBA expansion project has been nuts, okay? Just to start, the fact that the New York Liberty fired Sandy Brondello for some unbeknownst reason. I'm still chapped about that, for the record. I'm still salty that Sandy Brondello got the boot ski from the New York Liberty. However, about 3 days later, ends up picking up the job as the new head coach for the new expansion team that is the Toronto Tempo, coming in the 2026 season for the WNBA. Sandy Brondello, again, played 5 seasons in the WNBA, has 2 championships as a head coach, one with her first stint of head coaching for the first 4 years while she was the Seattle Storm head coach, obviously playing and seeing the likes and coaching the likes of one of the GOATs in Sue Bird, okay, Brianna Stewart, Sabrina Ionescu, who she also just coached last year in the championship with the New York Liberty, bringing them their first franchise as a New York Liberty. Okay. Won a title in Seattle again in 2014, then 10 years later, last year in 2024. I still think New York is on some form of strain of something. But whatever it is, I don't want it. In fact, now the New York Liberty currently don't have a head coach. Like I said, again, Sandy Brondello played in the WNBA from 1998, 2003, went 107 and 53 in 4 seasons as the Liberty head coach, which is ridiculous because, like I said, she brought them their first franchise title, and you fire the woman for, again, some strange, unbeknownst reason. Who knows? Sometimes people get a wild hair up their behind. I can't tell you why, but the entirety of the fact is that sometimes people just don't make the cut anymore, whatever that looks like. Can't seem to figure out why, but I guess that's what we're going to do. That's how we're going to live. All the things. Moving on, the Portland Fire announced that they will be hiring one of the Cleveland Cavaliers assistant coaches in Alex Samara. Alex Samara has been with the Cleveland Cavaliers for just about 3 to 4 seasons now. Kind of got to see some of that ending of LeBron James and Kyrie Irving tandem in terms of being on the staff over there. Not really sure much about him. There hasn't been too many details, but I do know that he has helped rebuild that program. And I think with them adding the Portland Fire to the 2026 slate of teams for the WNBA, it's going to be great, which means there's going to be now 2 teams having an expansion draft, like I kind of explained last show. So we'll look forward to that. The Dallas Wings fired coach Cole Lanes, fired him on the 30th of September. A new coach is now Jose Fernandez, who was hired on the 23rd of October, which was Wednesday. Thursday, I lied. My day's a little backwards. They hired him yesterday, which is crazy to think about. Spent most of his seasons down in South Florida rebuilding that program, and now this is now the Dallas Wings sixth coach, mind you, in 6 years, little over 6 years, since 2018. That's ridiculous, but you now have another head coach and another system of basketball that, Arike Gumbawale and Paige Beckers are now going to have to try to maneuver around. And obviously with the veteranship of Arike Gumbawale, and obviously now with Paige Beckers going into her second season in the WNBA, it's just going to be that much better once they finish getting the rest of the pieces back healthy. I think the Dallas Wings are going to be something to be not to be messed with. I think they're going to be a force. It's just going to see what Coach Fernandez has in store for these ladies down in Texas. The Seattle Storm, who also seemingly enough said that they would not be renewing Noelle Quinn's contract. That vacancy has now just been updated just about an hour ago via Shams Charania. And again, you can find all this information on ESPN.com, Bleacher Report, The Athletic, numerous sports engines, Google, all the things. But here at the Mac Truck Show, we get a lot of our information from ESPN and the people over there. So shout out to ESPN. Shout out. As I was stating, though, the Seattle Storm have now hired New York Liberty assistant coach Sonia Ramon. She just got done serving about three seasons under Sandy Brondello, was a part of that championship squad last year with Sabrina Ionescu, Brianna Stewart, and Jonquel Jones. I'm excited to see how this turns out. Seattle Storm still have a lot of pieces, literally starting with Dominique Malunga. All I need to say. That is all I need to say. If you haven't watched the WNBA or didn't watch any iota of it, you missed out. Quite literally missed out. And that's okay. You're going to learn. Y'all going to learn you some WNBA, whether you like it or not, because the WNBA is here to stay. It's not going nowhere. Whether you misogynistic males or misogynistic people want to sit there and say women's sports don't matter, the WNBA is here to stay. Everybody watches women's sports, and if you don't, hate that for you. Let's just put something into perspective real quick before we kind of get into our last couple topics here on the Mac Truck Podcast. For those of you people who seem to think that, women's sports isn't growing, blase, woo, blah, blah, this, that, and third, and all things. If women's sports weren't growing, there would not literally be so many cities right now that are literally opening up strictly women's sports bars. Let's just throw that out there right now. Okay. In fact, there is going to be a women's sports bar in Des Moines, and I'm so kind of salty that I moved because I want to go there. However, that just means I get to bring one here to Greenville. Love it. And if you're in the Omaha area, I highly suggest you go visit Set the Bar, their first premier women's sports bar in the Omaha area. There's also one, I believe, in St. Louis. There's also one that's going to be opened up somewhere in Kansas City, I believe. Women's sports bars are a thing, guys. I'm not really sure if y'all know that, just because they're few and far between, but seemingly enough just start to keep coming together anywhere you go. I love it. You love it. And if you don't, why are you watching and listening to sports in general? I'm here for it. Either way, moving on into the big topic of the weekend in terms of combat sports. This section of the sports show, the show itself, is brought to you by the Tired Sports Network. Again, you can follow the Tired Sports Network on pretty much any social media. Make sure you're liking, following, sharing, subscribing all of the shows, including the Mac Truck Show, including Recognized Game, including Crew Talk, including all of them. Really, all of them. You really should just be following all of them. You should just be following, liking, interacting, because it's good content. It may not be syndicated content, but if you are a sports junkie, it's absolutely worth it. UFC 321 is tomorrow. I can't wait. I have been waiting so long for this card, and I have been waiting so long for Tommy Aspinall to defend this belt. Now, for those of you who don't know, John Jones was the heavyweight champion, called Dana White a couple months ago and said, I'm officially retired. I'm not coming back, all the things. Tom Aspinall essentially gets the heavyweight title. He was the interim title holder. John Jones and Tom Aspinall never got to fight to unify. So now Tom Aspinall is the heavyweight champion. He will be fighting Cyril Gane, and we'll go over that in just a little bit. Just to start out this card, Alexander Volkov in the heavyweight division will be fighting Jailton Almeida. Jailton Almeida is a minus 190 favorite. He comes into this fight 22-3-0. Alexander Volkov comes into this fight 38-11-0. Heavyweight bout. I'm taking Jailton Almeida. He is one of my favorite fighters. He's very shifty on his feet. Him and Volkov are smaller heavyweights. They're very tall, but they're smaller built heavyweights. And a lot of the heavyweight division in terms of the UFC is very shifty, but a lot of the heavyweights in the UFC are very typically built, but they play like wide receivers. They fight like smaller weight classes, and it's crazy to even think about and kind of fathom. This is going to be a banger. I don't think there's going to be a knockout. It's going to be very strategic. I think Jailton Almeida gets the decision here. Moving on into the bantamweight division here on the Mac Truck podcast in our UFC 321 preview of Tom Aspinall versus Cyril Gane. Umar Nurmagomedov, the younger brother of soon-to-be Hall of Famer, if not already Hall of Famer, Khabib Nurmagomedov, comes into this fight as a minus 700 favorite versus Mario Bautista, who comes into this fight plus 450. Umar Nurmagomedov is 18-1-0. Mario Bautista is 16-2-0. I have seen Mario Bautista be one of the lowest favored in terms of money line, things like that, and just come out and blow people out of the water. I unfortunately don't think that's going to happen. I think Nurmagomedov is going to bake him like a pie, a cherry pie at that. It's going to be frustrating for him, but I also think if Nurmagomedov doesn't learn, or hasn't learned rather, to keep his gas tank under control, I think it's going to be a long night for Nurmagomedov. If Mario Bautista gets a hold of him after the second round, gonna be over with. You still, what are you doing, boo? You want to join here? Well, join the cast one more time. Oh my goodness. Oh. Can I finish talking about MMA?
Yeah.
No? Well, I have to.
Yeah.
Can I? My daughter wants to join the cast again. Do you have anything to say about MMA?
No,
No? Is everything a pickle to you still?
no.
No? Okay. Well, that's good. At least everything's not a pickle. Either way, we're moving on into the last two fights of this card here. Diana Jaroba versus Mackenzie Dern 2, the co-main event here on this card. Both Brazilian champions, both Brazilians in their entirety. Jaroba comes in this fight 22-3-0. Mackenzie Dern comes in this fight 15-5-0. Mackenzie Dern is the favorite with minus 150 on the betting line. The vacancy for the UFC World Strawweight title. They have fought already. Mackenzie Dern smashed her face in. Are you trying to poke me with that?
No.
No?
That's fine.
Either way, Mackenzie Dern, like I said, is the betting favorite here, and I am also taking Mackenzie Dern by third round knockout. It's gonna go into some deep water, and then the third round, Mackenzie Dern is going to take care of business.
You black and I gray.
Yeah. You.
You black and I gray.
Yeah. Oh.
You're
Okay.
red.
I'm red now. I'm red. I'm red.
Your face is red like my daughter.
Oh. You have a daughter? Does that make me a grandma?
Yes.
Oh, wow. Now she called me old. I'm offended. Can I talk about the main event now?
Yes, I'm on the floor.
Oh, you want to sit on the floor? Okay. She's going to go sit on the floor. Either way, this main event.
That's other day.
Okay. I love her so much. She makes my day. Either way, we're going into this main event here. Tom Aspinall comes in this fight minus 400 as the betting favorite. Cyril Gahn comes in this fight plus 300, which I think is a little disrespectful because Cyril Gahn is something that nobody's ever seen in terms of being a heavyweight fighter. Cyril Gahn is a French kickboxing champion. Cyril Gahn has also been the interim heavyweight champion once in his career. Currently, Tom Aspinall is 15-3-0. Cyril Gahn is 13-2-0. This fight's going to be a dog fight as well. I really would like to see Cyril Gahn get his vengeance. Yes, baby. I'm standing on my stool. I love it here. Please be careful, though.
Okay.
Okay. Look at you. Go show mom. I love this for us. She's so cute. So tenderhearted. It makes my heart happy. Either way, like I said, the prelims for this fight card are at 10 o'clock Central Standard Time because this card is in Abu Dhabi. Yes, dear. Hi. Look at you. You're having all the fun right now, aren't you? Okay, having all the fun with my ponytail holders. Either way, the pay-per-view does start at 2 p.m. Central Standard Time. I can't wait. Also on Disney Plus and ESPN Plus. Oh, I love MMA so much. I also can't wait to get back in the gym. I'm not excited to get back in the gym. Are you excited that I'm going back to the gym? Are you sure? Are you positive? Well, listen, boo, I gotta finish up so I can come out and play with you.
I can teach you in the living room.
Okay. You're gonna okay. Have fun with my stool. Okay. Oh my goodness. She's something else, you know. Keeps me young and old at the same time. Gives me gray hair. It is what it is. Now, if you guys know anything about me, know anything about my love for MMA and just the entirety of why I started MMA and why I'm really just a huge advocate for women's sports, partly is due to this section we now call the Women's Sports Minute. And it's where I but get to have the pleasure of highlighting up-and-coming talent, older talent, previous talent in any sport, you know, that I want to talk about or that I get feedback for. I, ironically enough, had gotten a couple inboxes about this particular person, and not to mention this person is part of the reason why I started fighting MMA in the first place. So today's Women's Sports Minute is on the UFC pioneer that is Ronda Rousey. Anybody that knows MMA in general knows Ronda Rousey in her entirety was one of the best to do what she did, and the sole reason why women's MMA in terms of the UFC is a thing. Ronda Rousey has broken so many glass ceilings, has gone through so much treacherous just BS, has gone through so much just mentally preparing herself to break the glass ceiling. In fact, she told Dana White that she was going to be the first woman to hold a title, be one of the first women in the UFC, and he laughed it off. Now look what women's MMA in the UFC has done. Solely because of her and Liz Carmouche, again, in terms of the UFC itself. Now, again, like I said, Ronda Rousey got her start in martial arts through judo. If you didn't know, she was the first American woman to win an Olympic medal in judo, and that was a bronze medal in 2008. She was the first women's bantamweight champion in the UFC and first women's fight to headline a UFC pay-per-view, and that was February of 2013 versus Liz Carmouche at UFC 157. I remember damn near crying when that fight card was announced. As an aspiring fighter, and even still to this day at the raw age of 33, I remember watching Ronda Rousey's comment. I remember watching all the TMZ about Dana White laughing it off. I remember all the misogyny. I remember all the things. Like, I was so invested in her, like and still am to this day. The fact that she had to go through what she went through to put women's MMA for the UFC alone. I'm not talking any other promotion. I'm not talking any other league. I'm specifically talking about the Ultimate Fighting Championship. The things that she had to do, the things that the other women that followed in the same line as her had to do to get to where they are, has been nothing short of incredible. Again, like I said, UFC 157 was the first headlined women's female fight. Let's just throw that out there. It's been now over a decade since women's MMA in the UFC has been prominent. And that is literally thanks to Ronda Rousey and Liz Carmouche, and even every combat women's fighter that came before her, which also includes Holly Holm. Holly Holm came from a boxing background. Lucia Riker, who literally gave the idea of women fighting combat sports in the Netherlands and then brought it to the States. And Wolf. Okay. Gina Carano. Okay. Julie Kedzie. I could literally keep going. But in terms of just the UFC and women's MMA, when it comes to the UFC, Ronda Rousey and Liz Carmouche and everybody in their prime at that time are the sole reason why we have fights like Mackenzie Dern, and we have fights like Molly Meatball, why we have fights such as that. Ronda Rousey was inducted into the UFC Hall of Fame in the Pioneer Wing July 5th of 2018, and was also inducted into the International Sports Hall of Fame on March 3rd in 2018 as well. Like I said, she paved the way for women's MMA in UFC and internationally as well. At the time of her career, in terms of just the prime of it, she had 6 title defenses, which at that time was the longest running title defense record for any UFC female women's fighter, however you want to call it. Now, the entirety of the point of this is, like I said, to literally bring awareness to women's sports in its entirety, because this is 2025, folks. There's absolutely zero reason why we should still be having any kind of misogyny towards female athletes, because there's female athletes in high school, middle school, college. Why do we feel the need to try to bash them or keep bashing them on a professional basis? It's a little tacky. There's not a lot of bashing like that happening with male sports. So why do we feel the need to still keep doing it today? And also, just to kind of add to this entirety of a point, was scrolling TikTok earlier, saw that there was a young female reporter trying to do her job, doing color commentating, doing on-field sideline reporting. There were some disgusting dudes in the background hollering 6'7" and getting into the camera frame as she's trying to do her damn job. Y'all look stupid. Y'all look like y'all don't got no sense. Y'all don't look like you don't have no home training. Okay. That was disgusting. And huge shout out to that young news reporter, anchor, color commentator. Keep doing your thing. And don't let these people out here tear you down, because the misogyny in that video and the immaturity in that video was probably one of the world's most disgusting things. And the saddest part is those dudes thought they were cool. Like, y'all, like, what? Like, stop. Like, y'all are not cool. Okay. Either way, that's all we got today. That's all we got. A little bit longer show, lots to cover. Covered it all. Again, don't forget to like, share, follow, and subscribe to the Mac Truck Podcast, as well as Recognized Game, On Time Sports Talk, Crew Talk, Cheese and Beer Pod, Bearder Brothers Podcast, all the things on the Tired Sports Network. Also, make sure you're following everything in My Bag Apparel. You're following the True Studios. You're following Patton That Spirits. Okay. You're following me. And make sure you follow the rules of life. So don't make me mad. Don't say some crazy stuff. Okay. Also, just because Babe popped on here and I feel like being a butthead. Okay. I think I'm gonna take Michigan. I think I'm gonna take Michigan just because. I'm just kidding. I'm still gonna take Michigan State. I love y'all. Thank you for joining me. We will be back again next week. Make sure you're tuning into the group, Facebook page, the other Facebook page, everything social media wise. We will be continuing to post sports conversations, the docket, all the things. Babe is glaring at me in the side, but. Oh, now I'm grounded. Love it here. My daughter told me I was red, and now I'm grounded. Couldn't ask for a better Friday night. My name is Mac Truck. Thank you guys for joining. We'll see you again next week. Listen, in the illustrious words of Ellen DeGeneres, be kind to one another. In the illustrious words of Pat McAfee, be a friend, tell a friend something nice. It might change your life. And the illustrious words of myself and the great Prescott Kelly, stay up, stay blessed, stay tuned, and stay sporty. We'll see you next week. Have a good weekend.